but where are we gonna go?
Sitting by the tracks waiting for the night train, looking down the road, ain't never gonna go back. Listen for the whistle through the rain and rain now. Who's gonna ride the devil's train tonight?
Hey all, this is the good Reverend Jake coming back at you with an all-new 3-part video series, Better Know a Cage. Now, back in the Kenshi controversy video, I put it out to NetherRealm Studios that they should release more info on Johnny and Sonya so that the community could spread the word that just because the characters are related doesn't make them copycats like Ken and Ryu, who, last I checked, had the same exact moveset. So let's get right into it and meet the Cage family. But just from that little intro, we can see that the fighting styles of Johnny and Sonya remain unique as always, with just a hint to both in Cassie. But you all know me, and I like to get personable, so let's get to know them in more detail. We're going to start this off a little bit backwards in time, and first meet the daughter Cassie. Then, in our ongoing installments, we'll meet her parents, starting with Johnny, and then Sonya, whom we still know so little about in this iteration of Mortal Kombat. So, first off, let's go over the moves she shares across all of her variations. Of course, a bit of a bad girl and an officer of the law, she'll have a gun. And that's no surprise as everybody needs their projectile, and from what I know of every iteration of both her parents, she's going to be nothing like them. She also gets this flip kick, which looks like it would be very useful for baiting while backing up. And then there's this sky kick, which can be EX for a follow-up diving kick as well. This is reminiscent of various moves that Sonya's had throughout her versions of the series. Now, as long as Sonya's version of Mortal Kombat X of this is not across all variations and exactly the same as this one, then I don't count it as a copy. Now, some people may also find it worth noting that she also has hints of Johnny's shadow attacks in some of her combos. Now, since these are part of the combos and not actual special attacks, I again do not count these as copycat moves, and neither should you. This is appropriate flavor that will feel even more awesome in Mortal Kombat 11 when Johnny and Sonya aren't around anymore. Let's move on to her Hollywood variation. Here she's going to gain the ability to use her gun in the air, firing twice. Now you can also spend your meter to fire a third low shot as you land. Then, as her variation name suggests, she takes a move from her dad and punches her foes in the nether region. I love she double fists it like she's playing volleyball. So we gotta have a little bit of carryover here, as both of them obviously have the nut shut, but it's one move, not a big deal. Next up, let's look at the brawler variation. Here she gains the tackle that we saw earlier in the brutality. Continuing with the hand-to-hand theme, she gains 2 additional throws, one on the ground and one in the air. Then we come to what I find the most disappointing variation, Spec Ops. It's not disappointing because of anything they did wrong, it's disappointing because she isn't a robot. I mean, it's essentially his variation, pretty much confirming that I'm not going to get my Red Robo Ninja in Mortal Kombat X. Nonetheless, I'll probably be playing this variation every time I want to do some zoning. Perhaps it's going to be effective against the rushdown katana we saw in one of the past combat casts? Who knows? But anyways, I'm excited to find out. Anyways, I get distracted. Cassie gets 3 top-down missiles that all down standard close, mid, and full screen ranges. Past that, she can also use her meter to make it a homing missile. As those are technically 3 separate moves, the only other move she gains in Spec Ops is the ability to salute you, with its own custom trumpet sound effect. Does nothing else. Yep. This move exists solely to troll people with. Good job, NetherRealm Studios. Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker approves. So there you have it, from zoning to close quarters grappling to the Hollywood stance that seems to be a bit of a wild card variation, Cassie looks to be a rather unique character, who's going to see a lot of use from the Sector fans and new fans alike. And that's our Cassie Cage breakdown. Now we're going to be back with the next part of this 3-part series where we talked about Johnny Cage and his variations. In the meantime, what did you think about Cassie Cage? Which variation are you going to be playing, if any? Comment down below and then go ahead and subscribe to keep up to date with all the great content coming out of Chapel Studios. For now, this has been the Reverend Jake with Better Know a Cage Part 1, Cassie Cage. Reach out to you next time.